Hey, it's me, and I'm JV, into my 7th decade of life, antique autistic. I promised that I would make a video within 3 weeks. I can't wait 3 weeks. I thought 3 weeks would give me plenty of time so that I wouldn't worry about it so much, but it's made me more stressed about it. So I'm going to start this now. Now, the makeup. I know I'm wearing a great deal of makeup. I hope it's not too much. I know I look really faded in my other pictures, in my other videos, and I actually went to some of the older beauty gurus for makeup tips. It's like Hot and Flashy and Rockstar Mom especially, and some others. And I tried to learn from them, but I'm so dyspraxic, I have no idea if this is on right or not. Anyway, the reason I have difficulty, I need my whys. I need to give my whys. Why it is so important to me, you know, for us to have a community support each other in so many ways. Also, I didn't mention much, but we really need to deal with CPTSD complex. Now I forget what it's called. But CPTSD complex post-traumatic syndrome.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yes. And so many of us autistic have that. And another thing I found so much in our community is so many of us grew up in families filled with narcissists, and we were the autistic scapegoats, and we have suffered a lot from it. So I'm going to share a little bit about my life and tell the truth. I have just a few subscribers, and I'd like to start a conversation, but that conversation probably won't start for a while. We'll probably come back to this eventually, assuming this channel grows, because I don't really have, like I said, enough subscribers for really any conversation to start. But I want to discuss, I want to tell you my life and how the different things have affected me. I'm not sure where to start. I often think about, I think I'll start with the day that I decided that I was going to kill myself. And it wasn't because I wanted to die, and it wasn't because, it surely was because I wanted to hurt my family. I wanted to help my family because I had been gaslighted so horrifically that they had me believing, okay, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. They started saying it was a lie. My own daughter, who's really awesome, by the way, but they have her so controlled. My own daughter wouldn't come when I had my any of my treatments, any of my consultations, any of my surgeries, nothing. And I totally have never for 1 minute blamed her. But the gaslighting was so bad, one day I thought, well, gee, maybe I'm faking breast cancer. And I thought, all these horrible things they say about me, the horrible things they've always said about me, maybe they're true, and maybe I'm delusional and I really don't have breast cancer, which means everything else wouldn't be true, which means the biggest favor I could do to everyone, especially to my most loved ones, would be to get out of their life. And that's how bad gaslighting can be. I won't use names for the major narcissists because I'm afraid of them. They have a lot of money. I won't name them, but they were very, very close family members. Not close emotionally, but close bloodline. Okay? These same people, monster number one, I will call, give them monsters and give them names. Okay, monster number one had actually convinced my daughter that my younger son he has this horrible neurological condition that has to do with scarring on the thalamus and both sides, which is really bad. and that caused these really excruciatingly painful seizures. The top neurologist at Children's Hospital said the worst pain humanly possible. And we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to alleviate his pain. He is doing better now, much better now. But he believed she wouldn't even acknowledge he was sick. And many years earlier, monster number one convinced my daughter that her father, who was faking leukemia as he lay dying from leukemia in the next room, because of her reaction to him. And they had a conversation about it, being all because of monster number one, and monster number one had convinced she still wasn't sure. And he died wondering if his daughter actually hated him. And I want to insert a few things about my daughter. First, I had to think hard for a long time, okay? A few years, in fact, about what to who I could talk to about my daughter, because I would not want to betray my daughter. But I've prayed and prayed and prayed, and even asked her, late at night in my dreams, honey, shall I talk about this? And I felt my daughter, my real daughter, the one I love so much, I could almost feel her saying to me, Mommy, you have to. You have to. So, I will. I want you, my daughter, I've always adored her. She was a beautiful, compassionate, kind, beautiful little girl. She grew up even more beautiful and compassionate woman, and an incredible mother to her precious, precious little girl. But what that family, what those people did, I don't know. My daughter wouldn't believe me because I am considered the family liar. Let me tell you how I became the family liar. I don't know if I was 3 or had just turned 4 years old. And I was not at my house. I was in the garage at one of my brother's friends' homes. At 1 or 2, I know there were at least 2 boys apart from my brother. And we were in the garage, and there was an opening to the attic inside the garage. And there was a ladder leading up to it. And I remember my brother saying to me, and the boys, come on, Vicky, come on up here, we'll give you candy. And I knew they wouldn't. I knew they were going to do something bad. I didn't know what that bad thing was. And I knew if I said no, they'd probably do something worse. And I don't remember actually going up there, but I remember being up there, and I remember feeling horrible, horrible pain. And the next thing I can remember, I was back at my house, and I was sitting at the table. The dinner table, was almost dinner time, and I started crying. And my mom said, honey, what's wrong? And why are you crying? And my brother said, because she's a liar. That's all she does is lie. She's a liar. And so I said, I forgot to wash my hands. And so my mom said, well, then go wash your hands, sweetie. And so I went in, and I went in to wash my hands, and I went to the bathroom, and there was red. And I thought, yeah, I was probably dying. But I couldn't say anything because I had just been designated as the liar. When we were up there, somebody, and I don't think it was my brother, when they were hurting me, said, oh, it feels like a mush pot. A couple years later, I was in kindergarten, and when I was in kindergarten, we were playing a game outside, and it was some kind of a tagging game, and if you got tagged, you had to go in the mush pot. Well, I got tagged, I had to go in the mush pot, and I couldn't. I said, I can't, I won't go in the mush pot, and I started screaming, and I started crying. And then finally, I just ran the couple blocks home, and my other family members had to come get me and bring me back to the school. Um, I've had urinary tract infections all my life. My mom, and this was standard practice back then. This is not against my mom, but standard practice basically was, if you were a nurse and you worked in a hospital, you could bring home the left. I mean, it was unspoken. But my mom had plenty of all kinds of medications. So she always gave me all sorts of sulfa drugs for these urinary tract infections. A number of years ago, I thought I was having a urinary tract infection, and I went and I called up the doctor and I said, "Can you please just give me something for my urinary tract infection?" And they said, "No, you have to come down." So I went down and they took a sample and there was blood, but there was no urinary tract infection. Anyway, because of this, they thought that maybe I had bladder cancer, which I did not. And so they sent me to a urologist to look inside, and he said, "Oh, this won't hurt, you know." And he put, I don't know, speculum or whatever they put up there, and there was pain. And he said, "When were you catheterized? What?" And I said, "I've never been catheterized. This is before my cancer, before I had the surgery for all that." And I said, "I've never been catheterized. You know, when I've been in the hospital, I had babies and such. I made sure I never got catheterized. I had another small surgery at one time, and I made sure I didn't get catheterized." And he said, "Well, you have to have been, because you have so much scar tissue up here, and that is why you're getting the infections." And I said, "No, I just had," and it just slipped out of my mouth, except for I'm going to change the word, "I just had a really mean monster number 2. And I think I have to stop right now. Thank you."